Welcome to ELEMENTIS Way, where we explore longevity and the future of human potential. Today, I'm very pleased to have as guest the legend, the pioneer of functional movement, pioneer of fascia, the legend himself, Garry Lineham from Human Garage. Welcome, Garry.
Thank you. Yeah, legend. Yeah, it's funny because now 15 years or 18 years is a legend, right?
Right.
Yeah, but it used to. We've just been at this a long time, and I think that anybody focus at any one thing over a long period of time just becomes really good at it. And we chose to see the body different when we were in the clinic back in 2011, 12, and 13, and we just discovered that it wasn't the way that we were told it was. We discovered the body was very different, and we had no science to back it up. We just experimented, and here we are, like 18 years later, right?
Yeah, and it's what you achieved with Human Garage is fascinating. I know your story with the clinic you had in the States, but the community around the world that's following your maneuvers and your teaching is just stunned with the amount of results they have in such a quick way, and the science behind the fascia, behind the water, everything that you teach is so amazing.
It is. It's all about the water.
About the water, yeah.
Yeah, water is life. Water defines us, and that's why I appreciate what you're doing. The degree that you focus on water and the different nuances in the water here are just unbelievable. Like, I've never seen this anywhere in the world, and I'm super excited about it because it is in the water. We're supposed to be 80% water. 30 years ago when we studied in medicine, we were on school or medicine nutrition, it was 70% water. And today in medical school, we're teaching 60% water. And conversely, as we've become dehydrated as a society, we've also become less functional. So all the diseases have gone up. And
even new ones appear, yeah.
Yeah, and I propose, first of all, they're not new diseases. What they are is disease is the body's not at ease. Disease means the body's not at ease. And when the body is not at ease for a long enough period of time, it starts acting and reacting differently. And as we constantly demineralize and dehydrate our bodies, it just starts acting differently. And what we do is we take each one of these actions, which is called a symptom, and we give it a name. So there is no new diseases. We are dehydrated, demineralized, and we have dysfunctional relationship with food and chemicals. And if we remove the chemicals and we mineralize and we hydrate, the things that we call diseases all go away.
All go away, yeah. So how does one hydrate? How do you hydrate? What do you add anything into your water?
Even as drinking as good a water as this is, it's only going to get you to a point, because we have to have minerals. And currently the environmental toxins that are being sprayed in the air for geoengineering, that are in the houses, the fluorides and the toothpaste and the waters, the chemicals, these are all things that calcify our body, number one, and demineralize us. And some of the chemicals that we're dealing with, like barium was one of them, actually deplete the body's silica.
Silica.
Yeah, and silica, when you say minerals, there's elements and minerals. Elements come before minerals. And if elements aren't present, minerals don't have a chance to populate properly. And it's like a substack. And the very bottom of that stack is silica. Silica, silicone, sand. That's actually what we're made of. And let me give you an example. The reason why on your hydrogen machines you have silicone hoses, not plastic ones, is because if it's plastic, the hydrogen won't make it from the machine to your nose. So the only thing that will contain the hydrogen is silicone. Silica, silicone, body. So our body produces 10 liters of hydrogen a day. And if it wasn't silica based, we wouldn't be able to hold that hydrogen. It would just seep out of us. Back to the minerals, without a sufficient amount of silica in our body, we don't absorb calphos and selenium and all the other elements properly. And if we don't absorb those, then the minerals don't absorb it properly. And if we don't have the minerals, we don't hold the water. properly. And if we don't hold the water and we don't transport it and signal it to all the parts of the body, then the body starts to malfunction. The body's a fluid adaptive biological computing system. And water is the memory and the storage. And minerals are pathways through that water network to very specific functions of the body. And you can deal without the 102 minerals. You can deal with being short 10 of them, 15 of them, 20 of them. But if you're short 30 or 40 or 50 of them over a long period of time, then your body starts to malfunction. Even if you're short 10 of them for a long period of time, your body has to build new ways to get to that organ or to that process or that hormone. And our bodies are highly adaptive, but right now it's death by 1,000 cuts. We have so many things attacking us that we can't find what we call homeostasis anymore.
Homeostasis, right?
So it's not about the water. I mean, it is about the water. Drinking good water is super important. But you can even drink structured and hydrogen-rich water and still be dehydrated because you have to have the minerals. And those minerals used to be in our food, but they're not anymore. And currently, you can't eat your way out of this problem. You can't eat your way out of this problem. In the clinic, we found through hair follicle testing that people had barium, strontium, aluminum in high doses in their fascial tissue, their hair. And the only way that we found to get this out properly was to give the patients 600 milligrams of silica daily. And after about a month, they would notice it right away within a week. They notice hair, skin, and nails, elasticity. But within a month, all of a sudden, they notice their gut changing, their hormones rebalancing. Within 3 months, they start the full effects of what hydration does. The body starts cleaning itself, which at first looks like you're getting sick.
That's fascinating thing with the silica, and I understand that silica is kind of the main thing that binds the water into the fascia, right? So
yeah, because it's silica, silicone, sand. We're supposed to be 70% water, 25% silica, sand, and then 5% bacteria, viruses, and parasites. I'm going to just give a caveat for what we call viruses. I don't see it that way, but just for all the people that still have biology degrees.
Amazing. And you mentioned hydrogen. We produce 10 liters. The master antioxidant, the lightest molecule. It just gets rid of the free radicals, pathogens. It's amazing. I'm curious to learn.
Because it goes specifically, like when you take an antioxidant, it goes after all free radicals, but not all free radicals are bad.
Yeah.
Hydrogen goes specifically after the hydroxy free radical, which is the one that causes oxidization.
Oxidative stress, yeah.
Yeah, and oxidization, when you think about it visually, take an apple, you cut it, you leave it on the counter, it goes brown. That's oxidization. And ironically, the more you breathe, the more oxidized your blood gets, which is quite a paradox because you think breathing is good, but I breathe 3 breaths per minute sitting here. The average person breathes 15. So I breathe 5 times less to get the oxygen saturation that I got. And that's a really important number to look at because that oxygenation, that means that the less I breathe, the less oxidization and the more water I keep. And here's another thing that people don't realize. 70% of your dehydration or your water loss doesn't come from sweating. It comes from breathing. So if you breathe less, naturally, you hold more water.
So good to balance your nervous system with slow breathing. And tell me, how do you consume hydrogen? I know you travel sometimes with a lot of hydrogen bottles and things. How do you use hydrogen? I know also you work with a lot of athletes, popular athletes, celebrities, where you put them in the bath, hydrogen bath. I know you use hydrogen a lot.
Hydrogen baths, I mean, I have a Tech 900. It's the exact same construction of yours, slightly different in the way it laid out, but same style, hydrogen, oxygen, same candelas. Yours are very commercial, stable, aluminum based, mine's plastic, a lot lighter. But I travel with that, and I take the best water source I can and put hydrogen in my water, so I diffuse it in the water. And I also hydrogenate a bath. And when I came here today, I had been dealing with a massive amount of mucus in my lungs. I was tired. I could hardly talk. And this is the one time I didn't bring my hydrogen machine. And it's the one time I really needed it too. But I got in the hydrogen bath that you had was at 450. Is that parts per, what is the actual 450 parts per million?
I think parts per million, yes.
So
it's quite high concentration.
yeah, quite high.
Yeah.
So I got into that one, and within 30 minutes, a normal feeling for me is my brain calmed down, my throat, my coughing started to diminish, and this is what like. You can take it orally, you can take it through eyes and ears and all these other things. I have found that the best delivery mechanism for hydrogen is in a bath, and I can prove it to you if you're an athlete. Go get a hydrogen bath, get out of that bath and see how your muscles perform. Instantaneously, all the lactic acid, all the restriction in your muscles go away, like instantaneously within 30 minutes.
Wow.
And if you have less stress in moving and breathing, then you have infinitely more energy to perform.
It's fascinating. I've seen how many people you supported over the years, including some biohackers like Dave Asprey and many other that come to you so you can fix them or support them guide them into that. So thanks for doing all of that work. And I know sometimes this functional approach, holistic approach to health and medicine, it's being looked at it differently because there's still not a lot of scientific proofs. But you mentioned something about how you feel things. So you have this innate feeling, intuition, that you just know if something is good or not. And this is, I think, the skill that we get to develop quite a lot.
Well, innately we all have that skill. But what happens is our nervous systems get too distracted and we lose the ability to access it or to let it inform us. When I deal with the most elite athletes, like a tennis player that I'm working with, know very well, when I get him in that state, the first thing he says is, I can feel my edges more. And what does my edges mean? To an athlete, that's my field. That's that area. I can feel my field more. Edges is that unconscious feeling that gives you the ability to move and react before the brain even knows. And this is where the most elite athletes function at. And this is what makes a difference between an elite athlete and a pro athlete or an amateur athlete is the ability to sense and perceive the environment around you. So what I've noticed with myself and people that have gone through similar programs, like I've gone through our programs over years, is that they all become very acutely aware of their senses and the senses of other people too. Now your fascia is your fascia, you have this energy around you, and everybody has it, we can measure it. An aura, an entropic field, a bioenergetic field, whatever you want to call it. We all have it. And the fascia is the organ that senses it. But if the fascia is plugged up with heavy metals, congestion, dehydration, it doesn't have the ability to draw that sense in. And that's where the problem starts.
And you mentioned some of your programs at Human Garage. I'm very curious to learn more and for our listeners to learn more about what you do. I know you have humangarage.net. It's a website where people can go and become practitioners, facilitators. Can you tell us more about what you're doing?
Well, that's actually new. Our primary thing is to help people heal their own body or perform. And heal is a word that I use, but I don't believe in the word heal. Because the body either performs or doesn't. The body doesn't go, okay, I'm done healing, I'm going to perform. The body just goes, I can perform now. And so healing is a cultural ritual word that we have that binds us, that makes us weak. And because it doesn't really, the body doesn't think that way. So our primary offering is free. You go on and you go to our YouTube, and this is the best place to start. There's a 15-minute stress reset. And that 15-minute stress reset or a 45-minute reset takes your body through a series of fascial movements that reduce 75 to 90% of your stress in the first 7 to 10 minutes. Very, very articulate. It works every time. And if you do that over a long period of time, your body, your nervous system starts to calm down. That's the premise of what we do. And that's free of charge for anybody in the world, anytime, anywhere.
Beautiful.
And it's being shared in millions and millions of cases. Now, if you want to support us a little bit more, because keeping things free is very expensive, And you can take paid for programs. And our programs, most of the programs up to practitioner, like all of the self-care programs, like the 1-day reset, introduction to fascial maneuvers, 7-day reset, 28-day reset. It's, pay what you feel is right. Pay us $1, pay us $1,000, pay us $200, whatever feels right to you. And because we still want the elements of being able to support people, but we also require financial assistance in a crowdfunded way in order to keep building these programs and providing content. So we have the Help Yourself model, and we've just released now the practitioner model. And so practitioners can come in from a coach all the way up to a practitioner. The practitioner program's not out till next year.
So they can train and then people into fascial maneuvers and run retreats potentially.
Run retreats. They can run classes. The yoga is a worldwide practice with over 1 billion people doing it. Yoga took 2,000 years to hit 1 billion people. We have roughly 50 million people that we can articulate in some way doing a maneuver daily, weekly to help them. By next year, it'll be 250 million. The year after, it'll be 1 billion. The reason why it moves so fast is because you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to go to a practice. You don't have to learn a bunch of stuff. You can watch a video once, do something, and then move, and then you have a radical shift. And we want people to be able to feel comfortable to just go do that anytime. And the coaching program, like yoga has swept the world, but it got overpopulated. There's yoga studios closing all over the world. And if you're a yoga teacher and you want to level up, start teaching fascial maneuvers. That is the hottest trend. It's sweeping the planet right now in every capacity, from pro athletes to moms and dads to hospitals and caregivers and meditation and consciousness experts. So it's really got a broad range.
It's fascinating. So you got yogis, you heard that if you want to scale, go to humangarage.net and then actually implement some new modalities like fascial maneuvers into your practice.
And by the way, I want to say something about that. Right now, because yoga is, and I love yoga, so it's not about that, but there are so many yogis yoga teachers that are really good teachers, even some good teachers, $50, $75, $100 a class. We've got people that have been training with fascial maneuvers in 6 months, getting $400 or $500 an online session. And the reason why is because we have a high demand and we have a low ability to supply. And it's going to be that way for a couple of years. Actually, probably 5 to 7 years before we tip the balance.
Yeah, and I just want to ask the question why. And I learned from fascia, because it's been suppressed for many years. The fascia, what is fascia? It's just the thing that holds muscles together, right? But now, even the science proven that there is what they call a muscle memory from stressors, for traumas. They're being stored within the fascia. And I've seen people in front of my eyes, when you work with somebody, they start crying, they start releasing these blocked emotions and memories in the fascia. So it penetrates really deeper, way deeper than anything else does.
Your fascia, we know it scientifically. It has a brain called an interstitium. And that fascia has sensory processing. Your brain processes bits of information. Like it can only process a certain amount of information, but your fascia is out there like a field, and it's processing the birds and the pressure and the heat changes and the noises and the lights, and it has hundreds of millions of times more processing than your brain even does. And this organ called the interstitium inside the fascia, which is the brain of the body, the way I see it is the brain of the body, is infinitely more intelligent. Your body has the intelligence. Like your brain gets caught up in stupid stuff. Like it has a racing thought and it can't solve it. So it keeps trying to solve it. And it keeps presenting that racing thought without a resolution. That's not highly intelligent, to be honest with you. From a computing logistics standpoint, that's actually a simple thing, like a processor. It just keeps trying to process.
Reinforce the problem over and over again.
Yeah, the command. It's like it's got a command, doesn't understand it, just keeps running it. But your fascia, your body, when you clear it out, your brain all of a sudden can process or see the answer to the problem. But you can only stimulate your brain so much. And when you stimulate your brain to a point where it can no longer accept the stimulation, then that's the maximum bandwidth or horsepower that you can use to process. But when you clear out your fascia and reduce the tension or the stored energy, which is called trauma, from your body, you have that much more sensory processing capability. And sensory processing just doesn't mean the way I feel. It means the way I absorb information and process it from the environment. Everything that you need to solve in your life, everything that you need to do to perform, to manifest, is right there.
Right here and right now, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of being able to access it. That's where the issue is.
So you mentioned the processing the information, reinforcement, and it just got me to another topic that you're very passionate about. I know you've been into machine learning, deep reinforcement learning, and AI for so many years. And now we're at this DNA age, which is AI age, right? So I'm very curious to hear, what are you working on now with the AI, with the diagnostics, with what sort of tools are you
AI
using?
has been proven to be very much better diagnostics than humans. I worked at a voice-activated computing services, unified communication company I had in the late 90s. And we were, at that time, using voice print. In other words, from your voice is better than your fingerprint. And it can tell, through your voice alone, we can tell if you're angry, if you're sad, to the tone of your voice, if your organs are working, which ones aren't. Because your body is an instrument, it produces a frequency. And if something's not working in your body, part of that comes out in your voice. So voice information, it can look at your eyes, iridology, your skin, your movements, your eye flicker, the way you hold yourself. So through your camera, and we've been testing this for a long time, and it works. It can actually look at you and go, hey, I see you have a sluggish liver. I see that you're not digesting
Just
and processing.
from the posture or from the voice.
And I can see that you're a little agitated and you've been dealing with some emotional issues, probably around not feeling supported. So AI is that good right now that it can already do that. And because all of these signs are visually, like when a Chinese medicine doctor goes and looks at your tongue and your eyes and stuff like that, he's looking at very specific markers, right? The computer can do that, but the Chinese doctor, there's not such a good training for, like, how are you talking? He can say, well, you sound happy, you sound alive, but that's about it. From you don't sound good, like you're dying, to you sound alive, there's not much variance. So AI can actually pick those things up. And those are signatures and frequencies that are very specific. So we are going to, very soon, roughly mid next year, have a tool that when we take somebody through a 28-day reset, instead of you don't go into the same reset as everybody else, it customizes it every day,
personalized,
including supplementation and diet requirements.
Wow. So that's definitely the future of functional medicine, is hyper-personalized. We're using AI and other technology tools. That's fascinating. I'm very looking forward to that. Would you like to share any wisdom nuggets, any takeaways, any tools that our listeners can do to improve their potential?
Yeah. You can't hack biology. Longevity is expensive biohacking. So all technology is trying to reproduce one thing that you're doing here, nature. The best technology on the planet Earth is the fluid adaptive biological computing system we call a human being. And removing the restrictions that stop that from functioning is the best way to hack your biology, or to support your biology is another way. Biosupportive, bioadaptive. That's a better way of saying it. Because for us to really think that our brains can figure out the magnitude of creation, that's the one thing that I learned. I learned that in all my years of working with the body, that I don't know anything anymore. I literally don't. I'm not even going to try to guess at the science anymore, and I don't care to dig into science anymore. It doesn't really matter. I just want to know how to use it. I'll give you an example. Our kids are infinitely better at using our phones than we are. Now, we know the processors, the screen, the size, the width, the color, how much storage space. Our kids don't even care. They don't even know it has a battery. They just know they plug it in. And they don't see an antenna. So the antenna's inside, like we used to have the big antennas. So they know nothing about the mechanics or the details of that computer.
Right.
But they can use it infinitely better. And our generation, we've been taught to try to understand the science of our bodies, like all the details and the parts. And understanding the parts will not give you the ability to use it better. That is a fallacy and a myth. It's actually the opposite of that. It's being able to look at the subtle cues. And there's parts of science, like we can look at things like Oura rings and watches, and we can use diagnostic equipment, but we should only use it to confirm what we're feeling, or we should use it to confirm and make us better at it. Because the second we give up our ability, we've already done this in society. We've already given up our ability to understand our bodies. We actually gave it up to a doctor and to a system. And we lost all of our ability to understand the muscle that tells us how to help ourselves. And we're about to do it again to AI. And if we use it responsibly and correctly, it's like, train me, make me better.
Make me better, yeah.
Yeah. Look at it and give me hints and clues until I guess, until I can feel it. Help me feel my body better. And AI can do that over time. It can train us just like it does, like we train a dog.
So we use it as educational tool rather than outsourcing things for us.
Yeah, like the reason why I can feel so much and I can feel everybody and everything around them is because I practice it. And it's an accelerated thing. Now I don't even think about it. I just automatically know what's going on with people. I know when you come into my field, I know what's going on with your body. And at first, I got to admit, it was a little annoying to feel everybody. But after a while, it's just like white noise. And when I want to tune in, I just tune in. You'll see me sometimes go like this. I'm pointing at somebody or something because I'm tuning into it. It's like me directing my energy at something. Yeah. And by the way, anybody can do this. This is not magic. And it looks like magic, but it's just science that people don't understand yet.
Garry, I'm so grateful for everything that you do. Thank you for coming to ELEMENTIS Way. Thank you for doing what you do. Keep shining, keep supporting the world and humanity to a better place. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody that listened to us. Subscribe to ELEMENTIS Way. Stay curious. Check out humangarage.net. And we'll see you next time.